Here it is, as promised. So, this is going to be a video about the horseshoe. All of my findings on the horseshoe and traditional witchcraft. I just want to let you all know that there are a few stories about the devil and St. Dunstan out there. And the story that I'm about to share with you, there are a few variations too. But I'm just going to share with you what I found so far. St. Dunstan was a hermit who enjoyed playing music. He was a musician and he was also a blacksmith. One night he was home alone and he was playing music on his harp. It was nighttime, so it was normal to hear animals, dogs, wolves is what I meant, howling outside. But he started to notice that what he thought was probably a wolf outside howling became very obnoxious and out of tune. It was just interrupting him as he played his harp. Little did he know that was actually the devil outside trying to purposely distract him. But he kept playing his music, and that actually made the devil pissed off. He was jealous because he was playing beautiful music, and he was pissed off because he could not distract him from what he was doing. So he appears in Mr. Dunstan's home. He wasn't a saint yet at this point. You know what? I'm just going to call him St. Dunstan. So he appears, he enters St. Dunstan's home. Now, St. Dunstan had a few run-ins with him at this point, so I'm assuming he was trying to mind his own business, just really trying not to acknowledge him. He noticed that one of his horses was limp, and he took a horseshoe and he nailed it onto the bottom of the hoof, and the horse didn't make a sound. He seemed better, like instantly. So all of a sudden the devil had pain in one of his hooves, and Mr. Dunstan, or St. Dunstan, offered to make him a shoe. So without thinking, the devil says, "Sure, go ahead." Well, Mr. Dunstan actually tricked him. What he did is he took a horseshoe and put it in the fireplace so it'll heat up and get real hot, and he nailed that sucker right onto his hoof. And he screamed and he cried and he begged for Dunstan to take off the shoe. Dunstan was in no hurry to do so. So, long story short, St. Dunstan made him promise that he would not go into any building with a horseshoe above it or in it, as this was a symbol of protection. This was the only way that he was going to be able to take off, or this was the only way that the devil was going to be able to get away with not having that painful, tight, hot shoe on him. And so he complied, and Dunstan took it off and put that shoe right above the doorway to his home. So that is the story of St. Dunstan, the devil, and the horseshoe, or it is a variation of many stories that are out there. So this is the story behind the old horseshoe nailed above a doorway on a house or above the barn house door. That's the story behind that. Why do people, or why did, and I'm pretty sure people still do, nail the horseshoe above the barnyard door or on it? They do this because way back then, let's go back to this time frame. Way back then, it was believed that late at night when everyone was asleep, fairies, witches, all of the above would break into the barn house, and they would free the livestock, they would eat the food, and they would nibble on a piggy or a lamb or two. So, in an effort to protect chaos deep at night, farmers they nailed these horseshoes somewhere on their barn home, either above the door or on the door. Now, as far as houses go, you will, I guess, typically see these, like, again, either above or on the entrance of the home. Again, I've done my share of reading, so I find that it's very common for it to be found on an entrance, because the entrance of a house is considered something very sacred. It is associated with, like, purity, cleanliness. Like back in the day when people were believed to be hexed, they would be cleansed on their front porch. As far as the inside of the house, I hope they called them living rooms back then. The entrance of the home is where ancestors were also honored. I'm not going to go too far into that because I haven't done a bunch of research on those things. But so there are different ways that people would nail these horseshoes above their doorways or on the doorways. Usually above the doorway. Now, people, depending on what part of the world you're at or from, people will nail the horseshoe like so in this picture, where the mouth is facing upwards. And this is to collect and hold the luck. While others believe that the horseshoe being nailed upside down, where the mouth is facing downwards, is viewed as, I guess, like something like a bowl that is pouring luck onto every person who walks underneath that horseshoe. People also believe that once you walk under a horseshoe, you need to exit the building under that horseshoe again if you want to take that luck with you. I'm starting to wonder if 20 minutes is going to be enough time for me. There are variations to luck being associated with horseshoes that were found, and I'm going to touch on a few of the ones that I found. So, finding a horseshoe is considered lucky. Now, some people believe that if you find a horseshoe that is facing towards you, like the mouth is facing towards you, that will bring you luck. Others believe that finding a horseshoe that is an iron horseshoe with the nails still in it will bring you luck. And to elaborate on that subject or topic, if you find, it is said, or to be believed by certain people or whatever, that if you find an iron horseshoe with a certain amount of nails in it, each nail represents either the amount of weeks, months, or year that you will acquire wealth or luck, or how much time will pass before you gain luck or wealth. Obviously, way back then, I'm assuming pertaining towards women, if a woman found a horseshoe with a certain amount of nails in it, the number of nails represented the amount of months, possibly years, that would pass until she would either find the man that she would marry or finally be a married woman. Finding a horseshoe in a field, that place in specific, I keep coming across. Finding a horseshoe kind of in the middle of nowhere out in a field is also believed to be a lucky thing. The main idea surrounding this random horseshoe that you come across is that it is a worn, used horseshoe. I have read that you can purchase a horseshoe and it will bring you luck, but a worn horseshoe will bring you even more luck. Why is that? Because, again, some people believe that a worn horseshoe has been charged by the energy of the horse who wore it, charged by the galloping. So back when suspected witches who were tried were, tried, killed, and then buried in their coffins. Before completely burying these witches, they made sure that they would nail iron horseshoes, just one, on their coffins, and they took this as a preventative measure of these witches returning to life or resurrecting as witches. Now, I do want to point out that the horseshoe that I drew has 9 holes in it, meaning that this represents a horseshoe with 9 nails in it. I just kind of Googled a few pictures and decided, hey, this is how I'm going to make mine. But I did learn that the custom back then was 7 nails in a horseshoe. So if you do your own research, you will find out that an iron horseshoe with the 7 iron nails still intact was believed to bring the utmost amount of luck. Horseshoes being nailed above bedroom doorways was usually something that parents did for their kids. They would nail a horseshoe above the bedroom doors of their children to prevent witches, devils, any bad, I'm just going to call it juju, to prevent any bad juju from getting to their kids. If they had children who had night terrors, again, this is something that they would do to prevent these things from happening. So I hope you all enjoyed this video so far. Hit like and subscribe. And again, I hope you really enjoyed this. This is part of a new series. Stay tuned because I have a lot more to share with you. Thanks for watching.